Is the Disneyland Resort expanding? Is there about to be a third theme park? We're going to set things straight. Also, Walt Disney World is officially starting to use facial recognition technology, and the CEO of Disney says that theme park guests are more satisfied now than they've ever been, even before the pandemic. Lots to unpack there. Hey, it's March 27, 2021, and Kingdom Report Live starts right now.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Starting the broadcast with that live look outside at the Disneyland Resort Pixar Pier in the distance with Carthay Circle Theater. Oh my goodness, touch of Disney going on, and very soon we will be back in these theme parks officially for what they were purposed for to begin with. Hello everybody, Wade Heath for Kingdom Report Live, back with you once again for an all-new broadcast, bringing you all the headlines, all the news that you need. Hey, a big congratulations to our buddy Eric Bergeron of York, Maine. He is the latest winner in the Kingdom Report Live mug giveaway. If you fancy yourself one of these spectacular mugs, you too can be a part of mugdom, peak mugdom, as I like to say. All you got to do is leave a comment underneath our YouTube video. Now, you have to do this once the YouTube video officially posts following the live broadcast. So if you're watching us live, you'll need to wait until after the broadcast ends in order to go underneath the video and post the phrase that pays this week. And that phrase, Peter Pan's Flight, is what you'll need to write in the comment section just beneath this video. Peter Pan's Flight is the phrase that pays this time around. If you leave that underneath the YouTube video at the Kingdom Report, we will take a look between now and Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, the Monday following this live broadcast on Saturday. You will be randomly entered by leaving Peter Pan's Flight in the comment section, and then we will randomly select a winner. You too can join the ranks of people just like Eric Bergeron of York, Maine. Congratulations, sir. And that mug is heading your direction very soon. We appreciate you being with us as always. Another weekend, another opportunity to talk some Disney news and provide you a little bit of perspective. The team is here once again, and we shall introduce, ladies and gentlemen, from AttractionFaction.net, it's Katrina Manzone, Tyler Crouch.
Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hello.
Hey there.
Do you think it has smelled like cookies for the entire year in the Incredicoaster? The
I do.
entire year it's been closed.
Yum.
It still smelled like cookies.
Wafting. Well, the Incredibles have to live.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
naturally,
Gotta feed Jack Jack somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No doubt. I often wonder if there are phantom screams heard in the middle of the night on the neighboring communities surrounding the Incredicoaster.
During Halloween, definitely.
Ooh.
During spooky Halloween time.
Be like, what was that? A scream? What was that?
It's
Was
probably
that in the
my
air?
scream that was left there when I rode that ride.
Reverberating.
The one and done. That was it.
Reverberating throughout time.
Yeah.
We'll always
Actually, I
hear
don't
it.
scream on rides when I'm scared. I just
No, yeah.
sit there and I'm like,
Like, I didn't think that park was
she's
open.
very quiet actually.
Yeah.
Except
maybe like a tear, like a silent tear comes down, and then that's it. And then I get off the ride and I'm like, nope.
I think on Hagrid, I heard a lot of I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. But then she's we turned a corner and actually she had a good
And I'm
time.
like, ooh, unicorns.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then I liked the ride. I was like, okay, that was great.
how we have seen many of our Japanese friends return in Japan to theme parks not screaming.
Yeah.
and therefore
Yeah.
sitting very docile and very quiet on roller coasters, looking like they're having not the time of their life.
Yeah.
No.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen to us too.
Yep.
No,
Everybody
it
stay
won't, because I
quiet.
bet
That's
you
funny.
nobody's going to listen to that.
Nobody's going to listen to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And in the production dungeon, making sure things look and sound good, as always, producer Christian. Hey there, friend.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Afternoon.
I would say
Sure,
so.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Technically afternoon.
If
What's
you're
shaking in
Hawaii,
the
morning.
pin pocket this week?
Yeah.
Oh well, this one I'm throwing it way back to
Way back.
the very beginning of my pin collection. You can say.
Oh.
So this is.
That's nice.
I want to say back in '08.
Way in the beginning.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So this is one of the first pins I actually got, and it is Jack Skellington theme, obviously.
Yeah, naturally, right? It's every time. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Froze
your
it.
camera
Oh.
froze for a second. Oh, you're good. Or
Wait,
no?
autofocus?
I gotta
Come on,
tell
come
you,
on.
there is something recently about this pin pocket
Okay.
that
It's
is
like-
freaking out.
It's
Yeah, it
that
does-
it's
skeleton,
not-
right?
it's not focusing.
Is it?
There you go,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so much
Beautiful.
better because now I know.
Jack, look at him
Wow.
Thank
in all his
God.
glory.
Little known fact: the materials actually changed between I want to say maybe the early 2010s.
Like the metal material?
Yeah, the metal material.
Oh.
So
Mm.
when if you like clank on it,
It does sound more
it's
like
in-
plasticky or
yeah.
something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So the quality is indeed upgraded.
Well, that's good.
well,
Yeah.
That's
They're
different
definitely
for
more
Disney.
expensive too.
Oh yeah.
A lesson in Pindom.
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations. We've all been educated in Pindom, and thank you once again for the pin pocket contribution this week. Hey, let's not waste any more time. Lots to get to, so much to talk about. Big Disneyland News Week. Let's jump right into it with Disneyland News. Disneyland News Time. Taking a look at the headlines from the week. Things you need to know, things we need to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard, Disneyland Resort is thinking very much about expanding. Now, we need to set the record straight on a variety of fronts here because lots of news organizations and Disney fan media kind of went wild with this and started speculating and just throwing things out there as though it was fact. Here's what's going on. So there is not a third theme park coming to the Disneyland Resort by Disney's own admission in this expansion. So they might come down the line, but not a part of this expansion. They're saying it's more so of a theme park expansion currently. Perhaps one for Disney California Adventure and one for Disneyland. So there's the first thing. The other thing is that there's so much other items in this whole sort of overarching approach that Disney is taking with this expansion talk and this idea that they've suddenly thrust upon us. And we're going to go straight to their statement so that you understand what's going on. So no theme park number 3 is on the way. Let's set that record straight right off the bat. That's not what they're talking about here. They're talking about expanding into existing territory already with expansions from what already exists. So I hope that sets things clearer for you, makes it a little bit better for you to understand. From the statement that they provided, and Orange County Register, they mentioned that Disneyland has unveiled long-term plans for theme park retail and parking expansion as the Anaheim theme park prepares to work with the city to reimagine what the resort district will look like over the next couple decades. Disneyland Forward is Disney's effort to work with the city to grow the Disneyland Resort, update the blueprint for the resort district, and propel Anaheim's economic rebound following COVID-19. Disney will be asking the city over the next weeks and months for more flexibility in plans approved in the 1990s in order to be able to add a mix of theme park, hotel, retail, dining, and entertainment on the eastern and western edges of the Disneyland Resort. Disneyland portfolio executive for Walt Disney Imagineering, Jeanette Lomboy, said during a media briefing on Thursday that the Disneyland Forward plan includes what could be possibly in the future at the Disneyland Resort with more flexibility and approvals from the city. So this is all a presentation for the sake of approval. Nothing is happening yet. This is just presenting for the sake of getting some green lights. The immersive theme park, the story goes on to say, the immersive theme park Westside expansion envisions a theme park on the downtown Disney and Lilo and Stitch parking lots woven amid the Disneyland Hotel and Paradise Pier Hotel. Disney officials described the West Side site, bounded by Catella Avenue, Walnut Street, Magic Way, and Disneyland Drive, as more of a theme park expansion than a new third gate. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, not a third theme park is what's being presented here. It's more of an expansion to what already exists. Still great news, still fantastic, but it's not necessarily something that all these media outlets are running with to be true. Okay, so keep that in mind. Not a third theme park, more of an expansion of what's already there. So big news on that front, looking to seek the approval of the city of Anaheim and the county to increase their square footage of what already exists. And we're going to dive into all of it here in just a second as to what it all looks like and what they presented and just exactly how this might all go about. But first, this news seemingly came out of nowhere, right? It just all of a sudden on like a Wednesday or a Thursday in the middle of March, this news presented itself. Disneyland theme park is not even open yet. California Adventure in a much limited capacity with the Touch of Disney event. Tyler and Katrina, this surprised a lot of people because it just sort of popped up. However, not something that's necessarily surprising for the sake of them moving the needle forward and looking for that approval that they've been waiting to hear from the overlords for a long time. It's just kind of maybe potentially an odd time because nothing's really open yet, but maybe potentially the best time.
I mean, they definitely were very strategic when they were doing this because, I mean, you're kind of like kicking somebody while they're down. You know, Anaheim's struggling a little bit. So I think that this was like the perfect opportunity to approach Anaheim saying, hey, let's do this together. Let's be best friends. Let's get this done. Let's try to bring back the city and make it better than what it is now, because like right now it's just really sad and businesses are going under. So they kind of had to do it, and I think that's good on Disney, like to kind of like approach it and not saying that you're hurting Anaheim, let's just do this together.
Yeah, right.
Let's be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this.
What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like she said, this is the perfect opportunity. This was definitely calculated on their part, and I mean, I think that the city is going to give a lot less pushback than any other time. Like it, then this is like a perfect opportunity. I mean, this is it. So we'll see. I mean, I'm really excited if this goes through. But remember that they did say, there would also be a hotel, and that never happened. That was even further along, I think it seems like, than this is. I feel like. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited that this could
Anaheim
be a possibility.
This, who cares about a hotel? They're like, let's throw that out the window. Let's try to bring like some more stuff in if Anaheim is going to allow it, And if Anaheim says no, they're like, okay, then we'll do the hotel, I guess.
And make no mistake, this is, you guys hit the nail on the head. This is very calculated. This is a PR stunt by Disney to gain all of the necessary love and encouragement from the community. This is a huge opportunity for them. They see it from a business, I guess, point of view. This is genius because they're swooping in right now when Disneyland is in the throes of reopening, but the entire resort community has just been devastated because of coronavirus, and the resort region is completely destitute at this point. Everything just looks bad, and the city is desperate. Everybody is looking for a savior, and now here comes Disney suddenly in this position where, just a couple years ago, they were at war with the city over that hotel project and tax revenue and just exactly what they wanted to do, and the city was standing in the way saying absolutely not. Disney has now put forward a website, DisneylandForward.com, to sort of project all of this for the community and say, hey, look at all the things we want to do. This is for the future. We can't wait to develop. We can't wait to grow. We can't wait to add jobs. We can't wait to add all this revenue. Life is going to be good again. You just have to give us the green light. Again, not a bad thing to do as a business. Very smart, because they waited until the tables turned back in their favor. And now they're saying, hey, we're here to take care of you all over again. And why would you stand in the way of all this great progress?
I'm curious how long they had this. Like, did they have this like somewhere in a notebook and they're like, hey, this could possibly be happening like maybe 10 years ago or whatnot? I mean, I guess DCA wasn't that old. But anyway, like, I guess they had it somewhere about this could be a possibility like maybe 5 years ago or something, had someone draw it up. And then they're like, oh, Anaheim's not going to do this, and then they try to approach the hotel thing just to like, get the feelers out. And then Anaheim's like, no.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like, this is our moment, boys. Let's get this done.
I mean, I think they've had it for a long time. I think companies like Disney have to make plans like, a decade in advance at least, to at least have kind of a roadmap of like what they think, should be happening over the next 10 years, probably 15, even 20 years, I'm guessing, for Disney, because they're such a huge thing that they have, they don't have it planned out like, oh, we're definitely doing this, but they definitely have an idea and they kind of come up with things. So I'm sure they've been thinking about expansion for a long time, clearly by all the land that they've been, picking up and stuff. So
I'm just like imagining this like battle plan that they have like on a wall of
Mhm.
like what ifs, like, okay, if this happens, if Anaheim does this, we'll go in with this battle plan. And it's just like these like guys like over this like huge thing pushing like figures and trying to get like their whole army ready to go. I don't know. I'm like thinking about like JPEG doing his thing, being like, what can we do?
Sure.
I could see him dressed like Napoleon.
Oh yeah, riding in on a horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Well, there's no doubt that these plans and the whole sort of resort district, and they're harkening back. I think they even mentioned it at one point. The Disney side does that. The plans to expand the downtown Disney side of things into the parking lots and things of that nature have been in play since the 1990s. So they've had sort of a long-term resort plan for the sake of expansion, but they've sort of pivoted and jumped around over time and even presented new things as the years have gone on with sort of new ideas and concepts as to where they could move and things that they could do with the space that they are allotted. The DisneylandForward.com website does state that the lands that could potentially be a part of this expansion process being attached to Disneyland and California Adventure could include things like Frozen, Peter Pan, Tangled, as well as Zootopia. And, these are all various things, including like the Tron Light Cycle run that could potentially be shoehorned into these spaces. And let's go ahead and take a look, first of all, at what this artwork looks like. Okay, so we're going to start with the Expand Full artwork to take a look at exactly what they presented right up front. And this is something that I think is important to understand. This is on the backside of California Adventure, like the Pixar Pier area, right across the street. You have Disneyland Drive in the middle, sort of separating things, Paradise Pier in the center of the image there. You take a look at all of this, and it's in and around Paradise Pier Hotel as well as the Disneyland Hotel. And we want to point out a couple of things to you here in the Expand South image. This will give you some perspective. The yellow circle that you see, that's the Paradise Pier Hotel. Okay, so this gives you an idea as to just how this is going to wrap up and around the hotel itself. And then you see the yellow arrow. The yellow arrow points to what seems to be a pathway that goes from the backside of Pixar Pier right into that new expansion process. That's currently where you see like the lake and the what looks like maybe a volcano and stuff like that in the artwork. That area back there is the Simba lot. Okay, so currently the Simba parking lot where guests just park their cars for downtown Disney at the moment. That yellow arrow points out to you the walkway that appears to be what would take people from one park to the expansion, and that being California Adventure. So you see that walkway. It does look maybe like a bridge, or potentially it's underground. It's a different tone than Disneyland Drive, so that clearly means that it's over or under. Just hard to tell because they haven't necessarily squared that away as to what it's going to be. So this is the artwork for the south end of things. And Tyler, I know you mentioned this earlier this week. Well, when we were talking about this news, obviously this artwork is just a placeholder. Right.
Mhm.
And so all of this is going to probably change 50 times as to what's going to be potentially shoehorned in there. Disney said themselves, with all of the various IP that they could use in this space, it's still up in the air.
Sure.
I see a lot of water in this image, though.
I know, yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I know a lot of people are speculating that like Peter Pan could be a thing over there, but
I mean, Neverland.
Mhm.
that would kind of make sense, I guess. I don't know how it would fit into the California Adventure theme, because that is kind of the side that it's on,
Right.
The thing I wonder about this whole thing is they call it Disneyland Forward and everything, and stop me if I'm jumping too far ahead, but I just am curious how they're going to keep Paradise Pier, because it seems like it's such an old hotel. It's like basically one of the oldest things in that whole area. It's gonna after this expansion, it's gonna be the oldest thing in that whole area.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. and I mean, I like that hotel, but for like the deluxe prices that like Disney wants us for their hotels, doesn't it seem like they could like build this hotel, a new hotel, to be part of this expansion? And like, imagine if you had a direct entrance into Disneyland and California Adventure from the same hotel. I mean, that could be amazing. That would be awesome. Just like they have it in Disneyland Paris, how you just can go down the elevator.
This hotel's gonna be now.
I know, really. But yeah,
Oh,
just
boy.
go down the elevator at Disneyland Paris and you're right in the park. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing if you could do a similar thing here at Disneyland, that would be cool. So
It would be, and they're
Yeah.
clearly keeping the parking garage you see in the yellow circle
They
there.
better add an elevator to that parking
Right.
garage.
Well, here's what's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
right? No
Yeah.
kidding. After all this time. But that parking garage exists. You notice that lots of mountain ranges up and around the backside of Simba on Catella, and then Walnut Street, which is the residential community just behind the artwork. So you see a lot of what looks to be, sort of mountain ranges and kind of what they did with Cars Land, blocking out the city itself, which is great. You go the route of truly immersive land here. Why don't we continue on now with the next expand picture? I believe that's the center photo, and this area kind of goes to show you a couple of different things. So Paradise Pier is still there just underneath the red arrow, but the red arrow that you see is pointing to what looks to be a bridge going from the Grand Californian over to the Paradise Pier. So that'll be great to take people up off of Disneyland Drive, connect the two hotels. The red circle that you see there, that's where it appears to be kind of a potentially a cross section between the two expansions. It's hard to tell based on the artwork, obviously, but that area looks like it's potentially an entrance or an exit. And then the yellow arrow up on top, that's just back behind the Disneyland Hotel, which, by the way, just beneath the yellow arrow, you can see the tower for the Disney Vacation Club that they've been talking about building. That does exist in the artwork, so that's good to see. But the arrow is pointing to something that does not currently exist in the form that you see in the artwork, and that is it appears there's going to be a parking garage set up for the sake of perhaps the Magic lot, the Magic parking lot, because it does look a little bit bigger than what is currently there right now as the convention center rooftop parking that exists. So it does look a lot longer, so it looks like maybe they are going to install a parking garage for the Disneyland Hotel on that side. So a lot to notice in this image, a lot of things that would be changing. Disneyland Drive, certainly still a through corridor, but the section itself, that crosses over from the Grand to the pier, very interesting because that is currently like a drive lane aisle where you can go in and park for the Grand Californian as self-parking. That's now absorbed underneath the red circle as what looks to be potentially a new ride, more mountain ranges, more cliff type design. I wonder what might go in there and what potentially we might see in terms of a double entrance exit for the parks.
I mean, what it looks like with the pictures, I mean, again, with like going to Disneyland Hotel, if you start off there where the yellow is, it looks if you pull up like an old map or something, they knock down half of that parking structure on the Disneyland, like where the convention center like parking is.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they extend it into like the normal parking lot that's currently at, which is great. Cause again, sometimes at Disneyland Hotel, like if they're going to be building this new area, it's gonna be more bodies, which means that's great. They're actually finally doing a parking garage, which is like definitely needed.
And you've got another tower coming in.
Yeah,
full
and
of guests.
so that's great. But then my worry is, and if you look at it, they're knocking down Legoland. I don't see, or not Legoland, Lego, like the Lego store.
Wow.
They're knocking down the AMC.
Poor Legoland.
Right.
And
I mean,
they're
they knocked
knocking
down
down
their Star
the
Wars section.
ESPN, and it looks like they're knocking down their beautiful little Star Wars store that they just built. But they're knocking down that whole downtown Disney area that was, I mean, again, it's dead because they kind of made it dead because they didn't put any great dining down there right now.
Right.
But that makes me worried, like, what is this? Because they're taking
Sure.
over the parking lot, they're knocking down AMC and stuff. So are they actually like, is this part of the park, or is this part of downtown Disney where they're going to try to put Hangar Bar or the little promotional thing that they did? Because right now they're suffocating downtown Disney.
Yeah.
They're ruining downtown Disney is how I feel.
I think that is downtown Disney.
Is it going to be downtown
I think
Disney?
so. It looks like where the monorail is. There's like
Because like I don't need
there's
any
like
more
a crossing
stores.
underneath the monorail, and you can go kind of straight through there. And
Let's bring up the north image because that gives us a better perspective of the walkway, the bridge that currently goes into downtown Disney over Disneyland Drive. You see the red arrow there.
Yeah.
So that red arrow is what I want to point out. That's
Right.
clearly a new entrance to something.
Right.
Because look at the pillars on both sides. So you've
like
got
it can't
those.
be ticketed because like what happens if it's like, you have to get to a hotel. So
Well, that's the thing. So are these hotel's about to become something like your Disneyland Paris type situation, where you have your own private entrance to dump you into that end of the park, and then perhaps, because I don't see Magic Way anymore on this end. It looks like Magic Way is gone, where the red circle is into the top right-hand corner. For folks listening to this only, you really need to be watching this broadcast.
I'm so sorry.
But you see the red circle in the top corner. That's the Pixar Pals and Mickey and Friends parking structure. So that still exists, but it looks like this whole land butts right up to that parking garage. And Magic Way appears to be gone at this point. I mean, it's very hard to tell again from the concept art, but it looks like they blocked out that whole area. And so what potentially here we have is an entrance on Walnut Street, where the residential side is behind the Disneyland Hotel for the hotel. And then, maybe you're dumped down into the new expansion for the Disneyland side itself. Also over in the, where you see the yellow arrow, that yellow arrow dictates a walkway back behind Disneyland Park. So that appears to also be something that goes over Disneyland Drive. The only area that I could see on like Google Earth that would make sense for an opening behind Disneyland to connect this would be Splash Mountain Gate, and right alongside Splash Mountain, so Critter Country into whatever this expansion would be. But you see a lot of changes here, and you're right, Katrina, and this image I think gives you a much better idea as to the suffocation of downtown Disney. I don't think, and we'll continue, but I don't think downtown Disney as we know it is going to exist once this gets rolling.
It just hurts my heart because again, they have like, I love downtown Disney, but I love Disney Springs, and I wanted them to incorporate some kind of Disney Springs into downtown Disney because it's a locals park.
Yeah.
So they want money, bring better dining, like do some kind of cool. If you've been to Anaheim, there's like, the Anaheim Packing District, and they have like a whole bunch of little restaurants inside this building that you can go to that are great. That's great food, but everybody can get your own food, come back, sit down and enjoy it. And it's not a cafeteria. It's not some kind of like quick service dining, in a mall type thing that has like a bad reputation. It's actually really neat. And like, I was really hoping that they were going to do something like that for AMC Theater and like make it all glass front or something. And then, do like 2 levels of different kinds of foods. But, bring in Polite Pig, bring in something like Raglan Road that's like fun and different, like it would be so great to have like some kind of barbecue, something different, like some kind of Raglan Road where there is some kind of like theme dining or whatnot. And like, it'd be great to have Hanger Bar or some kind of like, neat kind of thing where they're able to incorporate, Hanger Bar type food, but they don't really have dining. It's just more of like bar food, and then but bring in like Skipper Canteen type food or something really neat. And then because like if you know what Disneyland's like on a summer weekend, it is so hard to find a dining reservation in downtown Disney. You have to pre-plan stuff because those lines are long. Conventions, it's crazy to have. You need more dining. So if they're going to be like, I hope that they bring in better dining for downtown Disney. I hope they're not going to suffocate it. I hope they're going to like maybe extend it a little bit out to like, and it's not part of like a park or something. But that's my wish because like no one's going to eat at Splitsville.
Well, let's bring up the expand map here, and Tyler, you can make your point. Go ahead. Let's just take a look at the expand map.
Didn't they allude to there being a Jock Lindsay Hanger Bar?
They did. They had like a little thing, but like, where is it going? Is it going to be
if
inside
they're
of a
gonna do
park,
that-
or is it going to be at downtown Disney?
I have a theory, and let's talk about it,
Ooh,
where I
what's your
think this is
theory?
going to show up at. So we take a look at the overall resort map as it stands with this projection, okay, this idea as to the expansion. And you see Disneyland with the orange connection. This is, by the way, this is submitted by Disney from the Disneyland Forward website. So Disneyland connecting to that north end of the downtown Disney lot expansion in orange, and then over there in what looks like sort of a turquoise blue, California Adventures expansion. Now, it still says that there's a sliver of downtown Disney in the middle. I don't think that's going to last. I don't think that's going to exist based on what we're seeing from the concept art. The East Side Gateway project, which is off to the right-hand side next to the 5 freeway, that is something that they had been wanting to do for a while, and I think will gain a lot of traction with what's happening. So that East Side Gateway, that is a huge parking garage, huge arrival center that they want to put in place for the sake of expanding parking for everybody and having an arrival walkway basically from one side, and they want to be able to control everything up over Harbor Boulevard. So a walkway bridge up over Harbor Boulevard that would go from that parking lot, that parking garage, on over to the Esplanade itself and dump you down into Disneyland. Takes you up over Harbor Boulevard so you don't have to be on the street itself. They control everything from that perspective. Now let's move on to the Expand Toy Story image, and that is where things get interesting. So you're talking about all these changes, all these things that they might potentially bring to Downtown Disney. Here's where it's going to happen. Here's where they're about to make some real magic occur. So they're calling it a new kind of Disney entertainment, and this is where they're talking about potentially putting in theme park, hotel, dining, and entertainment. So this is the Toy Story parking lot down over here off of Catella.
So it's like a wannabe
and
Disney
Harbor.
Springs.
That's exactly what's about to happen here in this concept art. So here's the other piece. If we can go to the Expand Toy Story full image, there's a lot to point out here. Okay, so this is very reminiscent of Disney Springs in Walt Disney World. Very much so. There's a hotel where that red circle is. They've wanted to do this for a long time. But a hotel up and around a resort shopping dining district, that's a hotel. Yellow arrow points to a parking garage that they would build on the existing Catella cast member parking lot. The red lines that you see go in and out of what appears to be front and back side shopping areas. Okay, so again, all very Disney Springs looking. Now, the other piece to this that I think is really important is directly across from where that parking garage is. You'll see that the parking garage ends, and then that red line extends into what looks to be the walkways for the shopping areas. That area between the parking garage and where those next buildings sort of pick up is a giant walkway that goes directly into the crosswalk in front of the Garden Walk Mall. Garden Walk is in play in all of this, and no one's talking about it. Garden Walk has been bankrupt. Garden Walk, the mall that was built many years ago as a for sure bet for
bringing
the city
an
of
AMC
Anaheim.
theater, hoping they would bring it back up again.
House of Blue, everything. They've done everything trying to resuscitate this mall, but that mall is directly across the street from this. I mean, that street that you see on the bottom left corner, that street is all that separates the Garden Walk Mall and the East Side Gateway project. The East Side Gateway is on the opposite block. What connects all of this is they buy the Garden Walk. There's no other way around it. There's hotels all in the middle of this.
Yeah.
And the Garden Walk is the one thing that connects all of these properties together and keeps everybody off the ground, off the streets.
But are they going to do like some kind of transportation, or is this all going to be by foot? Because I feel like there's going to be a lot of problems for people that are like maybe handicapped or some kind of like, are they going to have some kind of like, I don't know.
I know there's some moving
bus
walkways
service
that they had projected in the East
like
Side
a
Gateway
Bellagio
project,
thing kind of thing. You just hop on over and then just like take you over.
A new frustration of all the people standing in the way
I know,
instead
being
of
like,
going to the right.
oh, wow. I mean, that'd be really cool. Or like at least do some kind of like quick, I mean, if the pathway are big enough, like maybe they might do like some like little like golf cart tram service, but I think that'd be like too hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that's great though. I'm glad they're like finally doing this and like making pathways, because sometimes walking on the street was a little too much. Because again,
and Disney can't control it.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're going to run into.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah.
You'll run into a lot of different things for sure.
I just feel kind of bad for House of Blues
Oh, I know.
because
But if
they
it's
juggled
connecting
around.
like over to Garden Walk, then like it could be revived somehow, right? No, it's gonna be
because
like
I'm
knocked
pretty
down.
never
sure
know.
I'm not gonna.
Poor AMC
I'm not
theater
gonna make
too. What
aspersions.
you
I don't know.
got?
I don't know for sure. This is all just talking in my butt, but I think that like Disney didn't really want them there that much anymore. I think they just figured.
It's not a concert place to be. Disney
Yeah.
Disney was not a concert place.
It
And I
was a
think-
headache.
yeah.
after that,
Again,
yeah.
And
like,
I think if Disney,
it was a very small venue.
I think if Disney owns the property they're on now, which is Garden Walk, they're also not going to want them there either.
I
Sure.
think they might be okay with it because it's outside of their.
But it won't be outside anymore. That's the thing.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like downtown Disney was such a weird place to be because you're like right there where like I don't know, like Disney Springs is completely different.
Yeah.
It's like on an outside area. You're not by Disneyland. You're not by like Magic Kingdom. You're not by any park. You're kind of like outside. So it's like kind of meant for like nighttime life, to have dinner, go do stuff. But like downtown Disney, I felt like was more supposed to be kid friendly in a way. Like, I mean, Disney Springs is kid friendly, but you know that once it gets to a certain time, it's going to be different. 10 o'clock, your kid should be asleep by then, not
Might
be
get a little
wandering.
wild.
Yeah, like not like a little kid zombie wandering around at like 11 p.m. trying to like stay awake because they don't want to miss anything on their vacation. But again, like when it hits a certain time, it's just going to be like older adults,
Yeah.
you know, having fun, hanging out, catching the bus back to their hotel, and like, you know, falling asleep for, you know, God knows when until 6 a.m. and then you have to go to the park again. But I just feel like maybe there could be a possibility of life. Maybe.
There is a potential.
Maybe.
Yeah, I definitely think though that we'll see a lot of the a lot of these projects in play for the sake of connecting the resort together. They've always wanted to do that. I was told many years ago while working for Disney that there's a reason why Garden Walk has the same sort of style motif as the downtown Disney district, and that is it was always intended to be Disney's in the long run. So I think that we are fast approaching that time, and that potentially we're going to see that connection happen between the East Side Gateway and whatever Disney Springs, Downtown Disney, Toy Story parking lot area is going to be. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think is coming to the Disneyland Resort. Again, all of this just in a way to get the city of Anaheim and the county on board to agree, because everybody's desperate, everybody's destitute now that COVID-19 has ravaged through the lives of the community, as well as the entire resort area. Disney is now in ultimate play here to look like the hero in all of this and get what they have always wanted. Not saying it's right, just saying it's a calculated business move, but you know, they waited until it all turned their direction. So let us know in the comment section what you think and what you imagine the new lands that the theme parks may expand into might be. We'd love to hear your perspective. All right, and one other news story that we wanted to touch on here, COVID-19 and the vaccinations are moving forward at a great pace across the country and here in California. One of the best news stories is that COVID-19 is soon going to be eradicated from our lives, and we just heard that it might get a little, it might be done a little bit faster based on the rollout of the governor wanting the vaccinations to be in the hands of all adults starting in the first 2 weeks of April. Looks like April 15th specifically is when California adults will be eligible for COVID-19 vaccinations. Anybody who wants one, and you know, I've said it before, looks like by summertime, life is going to look very different and in a fantastic way. The other great news added on to this is that theme park reopenings obviously will start happening for Disney at the end of April. So I foresee just a very short amount of time that they really have to abide by these dark restrictions that they have to open with. It looks like they're going to be able to pull back real quick in terms of all the restrictions that they're going to have in place.
I mean, by the way it's going, they could be opening at 25% capacity. Like, not even that 15%, it's gone. Like, maybe they might do it for maybe a couple weeks or something, but they're allowed now. Like, I mean, what is it? Are they allowed now or in a couple weeks or something? I don't remember. I wasn't keeping track.
I think we're fast approaching.
But now you're about 25%.
Yeah.
I know they still don't want to do inside dining inside the parks. I know that they are doing it like at Downtown Disney though, right? And then, but inside the park, they're kind of like easing into it. Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like fast approaching. It's kind of crazy how fast, like
week to week, things are shifting so quick.
It's kind of weird. It's like I feel like in a way, like again, it's like science, right? They're like paying attention towards people, science, but it's like people are like, you know, going in getting their tests, and you know, there's like less less positive COVID cases and stuff, but it just seems like it's like Gavin Newsom pushing it, like okay, open, but it's really not. It's kind of like, no, there's actually like less cases now because of everybody getting vaccines and whatnot. But it just seems like, whoa, hold on, slow it down a little bit. This is too much for me to handle, because it just keeps going like better and better and better, where I'm like, oh, I can't handle all this positivity.
We've been disappointed so much, you know, over the course of time, and everything, as soon as it would get better, we got used to getting to the point where things would get worse and bad again. And so now to see all this good news, it's almost like,
don't get your hopes up, people. It's just going to go back down, you know, just stay where you're at. And now I'm like, well, this is a lot. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I think why it feels that way is because we secretly have that fear that it's all going to get taken away again. It's all just going to stop.
I mean, California, we've had it multiple times. So, I mean, if you lived here, you would get your, just don't get your hopes up kind of thing, which is sad to say. It's really sad to say.
Yeah, we've learned to live with
disappointment, because you just know you're going to wake up one day being like, don't be happy.
Yeah, right. This isn't a place to be happy. I don't know what you're doing.
California, this is crazy.
Yeah,
Just
pay your
you're-
taxes and shut up. Yeah, just live with the darkness. Okay.
Well, how can you be happy without the happiest place on earth?
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got me there.
Mhm. Thank God it's back. So
See?
great news on that front as well. If you're excited to hear that restrictions are being torn back left and right and things are moving ahead at a full speed, go ahead and give this video a great big thumbs up, huge like. We love to see that too. Hey, Walt Disney World News is straight ahead. Stick around.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
World reporter Gared Hassel somewhere for us in Orlando. And where are you today?
Hey there, everyone. I am here in front of Hollywood and Vine in the beautiful, the glamorous Hollywood Studios. And, we got those fake clouds that Katrina loves. And it is a beautiful day out here. Yeah, it's like we're stepping back into the high life of when Hollywood was,
So
the good old
glamorous.
days. The classic days when, the China, where there was premieres every night, not Hollywood nowadays where it's just tourists everywhere, but it's beautiful. And I see an outline of Roger Rabbit over there, so that means that tunes are around there somewhere.
Clearly.
And I love me some tunes, indeed.
Ain't nothing better than a little Hollywood and Vine.
Yes.
Wow. Is that
Yeah,
your
you gotta
razzle
have-
dazzle?
That's my flourish at the end. You got to flourish, second pose,
Spirit fingers.
flourish.
There we go.
So
Got it.
much. Wow. Check you out.
Right.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's your
It's
Kingdom
almost
Report
like I worked
shirt?
in entertainment. It's not. It's very
The
hot.
new
It's
pastel
actually
shipment
92
hasn't got to
degrees
him
today,
yet.
and this is a little bit more. It helps with the heat.
Oh, is
But,
that it?
No, it's 92,
do whatever.
it's 92
Listen,
degrees.
yeah, do whatever you have to do if it's 92 degrees. I condone
Oh,
whatever
no.
whatever you have to do.
Yeah, I was gonna do like the swimsuit from Borat, but I figured this is a family resort, so
Oh,
we'll
please,
keep it
Yeah.
family.
Thank you for that.
What do you want to get this video demonetized?
Yeah, dude. Wow.
Wait.
Well, out there in Walt Disney World, things are a changing.
Yeah.
It sounds like a little bit more of some unique technology is being put into play.
Yes, that is true. So, if you have gone by Magic Kingdom recently, you'll notice that out by the entranceway, they have some new boxes up there, and that is because Walt Disney World is testing facial recognition software and technology. So, what that means is, instead of just going up there and scanning your Magic Band, you also have a facial recognition where it looks at your face and then it's like, oh, this face belongs to this ticket. You can go in. Because with the way things are right now, some people, I believe, some guests are buying tickets and then giving it to guests that may not be them, and then they go in there without any proper entry. And so this is Disney's way of combating that, to make sure a face lines up with the ticket name.
Do you have to
it's
pull your
quite-
mask down
it's quite-
for this facial recognition?
No, right now it's just like looking at the face, because when I've seen videos of it, I haven't seen people, doing the stuff you do on, say, like for your iPhone to unlock it. Right now it's just like looking at the top of the eyes. But I imagine when things go back to normal and masks aren't required, they'll take the full facial image and they'll do this. Right now they're
Cool.
testing this until April 23rd. And I'm excited about this. The next time I go to Magic Kingdom, I'm definitely going to try it out.
Oh my gosh,
Just
film
because-
this.
One, one, Disney's getting with the times, adding more technology. The contactless security system that can scan you without having to step in one at a time. That's been amazing.
Game changer.
Doing the Magic Mobile, that's amazing. So facial recognition is the next step in the ways of, just making things contactless, making things simple. And it's quite amazing. Right now, it is an option. So if you are heading to the parks, you do not have to do it. It's only if you want to. And if you are under the age of 18, all you need to do is have mom, dad, or one of your guardians say, you know what? You can be a part of Disney's little experiment and check it out.
That makes it sound bad.
No.
Like it's just because they don't
be
want
transported
just
to
like
Small Worlds.
If you go up there without parent permission, you get taken and you are a part of the Small World. That is it. But if you get permission, you're good to go.
They staple you right to the set.
We hear that to be true.
Yeah. But Disney has stated that security, integrity, and confidentiality are their topmost. It's of the most importance. And so after the test is done on the 23rd, all the information that they have stored will be discarded after 30 days. So if you do join in on this, if you're Bob Smith from Des Moines, Iowa, after 30 days, your stuff will not be in there. Disney won't be, using it to be like, we now have this information. They are simply using it to see, would this work in the future? Is it something that we can do going forward? Or is this something that is just too difficult for us and we'll just disregard it? But regardless, it definitely follows the Disney mission of, updating with technology, being more experimental and, trying new things, new ways of involving modern technology to make your experience that much more magical. It'd be cool if they scan your face and then after that, like Mickey's face shows up and he goes like, ha, have a fun time or something to that degree. Well, I'm just thinking add some magic into it. Like you scan your magic band, you then look into the camera, and then after that, they then get to go into the park. So
it'd be cool.
There's a lot of opportunity.
It'd be cool if they sold magic bands or something even that had little animations that would happen on the screen. That would be really neat. I think that'd be fun.
That might be the next meal ticket. We do know that Disney does love to do anything that can, get more of your money into their pocket. So that could be a thing where this is the facial scan magic band. You go onto the magical screens, you can pick which character you want to appear on that screen and welcome you to the park. Me personally, I'd be getting the Gaston one, being like, hello there, beautiful. Head on in. You'll see me in there. That sounds phenomenal to me. Other people might want to have R2-D2 where he just beep, 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 and then you go in. I'm not a very good R2 voice person, but regardless, facial recognition might be coming to the parks. Disney has not said if it is 100% locked in. Right now, they're just running tests in this experiment to see if it actually works. But if it does, we could expect to see this in every park as a way of combating, false identification when going into the parks. Because there are many times where people will buy 5-day tickets and they're like, no, actually, I got to leave after 3. I've got a 2-day park ticket. Here you go. And they sell it to someone under the table. Disney doesn't want that because they want to make sure whoever bought the ticket is going into the parks.
I could see them being you could hand your pass to somebody and be like, go ahead and use my fast pass. And then you show up at the fast pass station and there's actually a picture of you at the fast pass. And they're like, oh no, you're not that person. I wonder if they're going to start doing that sort of thing too.
I mean, they already have our thumbprint.
I know.
That's true. But
they
don't use
a
the thumbprint at
check.
the rides.
That's it for fast passes. That's all I know is they have my name and a green check, and that's it. And then
it's
that'd be so
1984.
Spooky. Because sometimes I don't want to ride a ride, and I'll be like, I'm not feeling it. Here, take mine.
Yeah.
And then I give him my little magic band, and then and then he goes on or something. Because that's what we used to do. If I was like, I didn't want to ride Space Mountain, I would just get a fast pass, and then I'd be like, I don't want to ride this. We should get. And then he'd be like, yeah, of course.
I mean, at Universal Orlando, if you get the express passes, then at some of the rides, not all of them, they take a picture of you. And then it actually scans your face the machine actually can tell you if it's the same person or not. And then then you'll go to another ride and they'll be like, you're not that person, and it's not
crazy, right?
I can't wait for the Disney DNA check. I'm sure that will be coming soon, and give a little bit of blood on the way into the park
a little
too,
mouth swab or something.
Yeah, sure.
We'll track your family heritage and find out if Grandpa's here, and
use the special urinal.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get specialized advertisements on your app, on your Disney
Minority
World app,
Report,
being like, hey, you're part Irish, you should probably go check out out Raglan Road or something.
You might
or-
like it.
Yeah,
Wow.
you might go.
Let's
try to go-
stereotype
How
you.
offensive, yeah.
Go buy like some kind of cool stuff over in England, you know?
Yeah.
Like who knows? I'll be
Remove
like,
all the stereotypical stuff out of
from
Jungle
Nepal,
Cruise
go
to do that.
Everest.
That's right. Yeah. On over to Everest. Well, hey, Gared, the Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, who we refer to as Junior, since he is the youngest of the Bobs, right, to ascend to the CEO role. Disney
Yeah.
CEO Bob Chapek had some interesting things to say to CNBC recently about the theme park experience, especially out in Walt Disney World. What should we know?
That is true. So Disney CEO Bob Chapek says that guests are now more satisfied than when the parks were open pre-pandemic. So compared now of March 2021 to say February of 2020 when things were normal, guests are happier now. And some people are like, how's that possible? But for many, it can be obvious as there's less people in the parks. There's more opportunities for you to experience all these different rides and attractions. There's less crowds overall because parks are only running at a 35% occupancy as opposed to before, whereas 100%. So if you were to compare a spring break day like today here at Hollywood Studios versus one, if the park was at 100%, it would be close to night and day. There'd be lines everywhere. So yeah, guests seem to be very happy about this, as well as like Bob Chapek. He seemed really excited because he says a lot of it comes from guests knowing that Disney is a brand they can trust and that Disney will do this thing right. And even with them putting in, the mask and health and all the added security and hygiene regimens that they do, guests are still wanting to come out. And I think part of it is the numbers are so high because guests have been cooped up in their houses. They've been having to quarantine, isolate, and now they have the opportunity to come out here to Orlando and experience Disney World, walk around, get outside, see their favorite characters, and be a part of that Disney story where they are the main character in it. So all I can say is, hey, nice job, Disney, on getting those scores. We'll see once everything goes back online where that satisfaction is. But for right now, Disney is very happy with that. And all we can do is sit back, wait, and see how everything goes. But I'm wondering, come July, if they still have masks in place, how will the satisfaction be when it comes to the heat of this place? Because on a 90-degree like today, it's a little toasty, but it's still manageable. But
I mean, they did it last year in 2020.
Yeah, I experienced it in August last year, and it was tough.
It was toasty.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on this and see what Disney keeps on saying. Of course, anyone's gonna say like, oh yeah, people are very happy because then that brings in more money from the stock, from their shareholders as well as those looking at travel. So for those of you at home, if you want to come to Disney World, it's a place where I feel safe, and everyone on this team has pretty much been here except for Christian. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, Disney World, they've done a lot in their place. The only area of Disney World to be more cautious in is in Disney Springs. Like if you watched last Saturday, you saw it was kind of crazy. You don't see cast members walking around implementing masks and all that other stuff. But in the parks, it's relatively safe. I'd say pretty darn safe overall. So yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye out. But
yeah, I know Tyler. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying I feel comfortable here. It's hot, but I think that I'm sweating, I'm losing weight, I'm getting a workout in, and I'm practicing my lung capacity, so it's a good time.
That's the way to look at it. Tyler, you and I were talking about this when Bob Chapek, ended up making the statement as to perhaps this revealed a little something different than he realized he was saying. Perhaps this brought to light something that it's a different way to look at it. He's proud and excited that the guest satisfaction scores are high, but this tells us something else too.
I mean, to me, like, unfortunately, I feel like I'm always like the negative guy, but I always
agree with this. This is so true.
But I try and look at things from like a perspective of like, this is a company that's like, has things to lose. And anyway, it's like they're not doing things for our benefit all the time. Anyway, the reason this is so telling to me is because it shows that guest satisfaction was bad before,
right? Or worse than it is now. Yeah,
I wouldn't say bad, I guess, but I would say it was not as good as it should be. And I think that a main reason for that was obviously crowding and just not having enough space, just too many lines, having to pay a lot of money for things like Max Pass. I'm sure, you know, I mean, even though Max Pass I think was a great deal until you get into the part where you have maybe like a family of 8 or something like that, but
But, like waking up early trying to get fast passes, waking up early trying to get like the dining reservations and stuff at Disney World is exhausting. Like you have to wake up if you're on the West Coast at like 5 a.m. to get a fast pass, and then you didn't get your fast passes if you went on spring break. You probably got like the worst part or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just exhausting for a family, you know. So I completely agree with this 100% being like, I mean, it probably wasn't the best.
It goes to show you, Bob, you know, that these appreciative polling numbers that you're seeing, guest satisfaction going up, it's because you're providing what you say you're there to provide, finally, you know. And Disney had hit a saturation point just before the pandemic, and I think that's really important to recognize. Is Disney more popular than ever, parks bursting at the seams, cast members burn out, tired, which makes them irritable, right? Because they're humans, and so they're dealing with just crushes of humanity every day, and everybody's there trying to get their Instagram photo, and everybody's there trying to get their fast pass and their dining reservation, and it had become exhausting, Katrina, and over the course of time was something very taxing just to take a Disney vacation. It sounds silly, but it became true.
You need a vacation from that vacation because it was hard. And then maybe because of the hours of because of the pandemic, like maybe the cast members were happier because, again, you're not working from like 4 a.m. till 2 a.m. You know, because with Disney, you don't work a normal 8-hour shift and then you're gone. They'll pretty much keep you as long as they really want to, and you really don't have a life. So for them, maybe that brought guest satisfaction up too, because like they're not having like a very like long schedule, so they're actually like ready to go. And then parks don't open until like 9 or something, so parents can actually rest a little bit before they have to go. Like, and then, you know, there's not really like a early morning magic hour anymore either, so kids aren't waking up at like 4 a.m. ready to go get your breakfast. Okay, we have to get on the bus at 6 to be there by 7. Okay, ready, let's run to the next ride because we have a fast pass to get to. And it's just like, this is exhausting. Like it
can be a bit much.
Oh man, I bet everybody, they got rest. That's why everybody's happy. They actually were able to sleep in on their vacation a little bit.
And it's a much more manageable crowd overall for the theme parks to take care of, and very happy to see that satisfaction is hitting new high marks. And hopefully some of these learnings, some of these lessons, some of these ideas from this pandemic life that we've had to live is going to be infused into the future, will be something that we can have an expectation to be a part of, the Disney World experience moving forward. And Mr. Gared, I know that Earth Week is coming up, and Disney World always gets into the act. They always get a little bit more engaged when it comes to things like Earth Week. What's going to be happening out east?
Yeah, so Earth Week and Earth Day are very important to Walt Disney World, especially Animal Kingdom, because from April 18th to April 24th, Animal Kingdom is going to be hosting a bunch of different opportunities for guests to really embrace the earth, embrace nature, and see the beauty of it. They're going to have character appearances on the barges that go around the park. Typically, we see, you know, Mickey and Minnie and the gang, and you'll occasionally see Pocahontas, but this time we might expect to see someone new, like, you know, Jiminy Cricket. You might see Tarzan, you might see Turk, and all these amazing characters from Disney films that focus more on nature, which is amazing. You might even see Flower from Bambi. You never really know. Along with that, there's going to be some learning opportunities, special merchandise, themed food and beverage, and along with a new Wilderness Explorer activity. So if you're a Wilderness Explorer and you want to be like Russell, you can earn the special Earth Week badge, and it is going to be quite the adventure. I can guarantee that. If you folks out there love drawing and you miss, you know, the drawing class that Disney used to have, well, they still have them out at Rafiki's Planet Watch. They have the animation experience. And this is where you get to draw your favorite animal characters, whether it's Shere Khan, Turk, Crush, or any of the other amazing creatures from the Disney film archive.
I wouldn't call Turk an amazing creature.
Say that again?
I wouldn't say that about Turk. Anyway, go ahead. It was just a joke.
But also, if you are a lover of the Kilimanjaro Safari, then you have some new friends that you can meet. There is a new baby rhino that you can meet, along with some Nigerian dwarf goats in a new area, as well as some baby giraffes. And for those that do not know, a group of giraffes is called a tower. That's one of my favorite animal names out there. Yeah.
Make a note, everybody.
Yeah, I love the safari. It is always an amazing experience. The animals are real. If you did not realize that, they are not audio animatronics.
What?
And yeah, I know, right?
There's no pet detective and a rhino out there.
No. Oh no, Ace Ventura is not going to, be in a rhino controlling it. My goodness. But still check out the safari, and also starting April 2nd, Disney's going to transform 40 tons of sand into a beautiful sculpture celebrating National Geographic Secrets of the Whale.
Oh,
wow.
Disney owns National Geographic. It's a part of the History Channel, and they're going to transform sand into this beautiful whale sculpture. If you haven't already seen it, in Animal Kingdom, if you're heading towards Disneyland, there's a sand sculpture celebrating Raya and the Last Dragon. It's all made out of sand. I believe that one's 20 tons. So just imagine that times 2, and you'll get this. But Christian, I know you typically collect Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, but there is a special pin. It is a Taffeti Moana trading pin, and it's a limited edition. So if you want me to get free, man, just let me know. I will hunt it down. I will trade what little pins I have for this to get that one for you.
But I don't think you could trade for.
But one of the most yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, April 18th to April 24th. But in between that week, there's a special day, April 22nd. That is Earth Day. And it is a beautiful day. I've gone to Earth Day several times at Animal Kingdom. If you did not know, April 22nd is the birthday of Animal Kingdom. It opened, April 22nd, 1998 on Earth Day. And, Animal Kingdom, they go crazy for it. They love it. So happy almost birthday, Animal Kingdom. Your park I've worked in many times, and one that I always love going to. Joe Rohde, you did a beautiful job on this place. You big earringed, beautiful person. You. Thank you for all you did. No, Joe Rohde is one of the great. Yeah, Joe Rohde is one of the greatest Imagineers in Disney's history. Probably in the top 10, honestly. So thank you, Joe Rohde. Earth Day, Animal Kingdom. Come on out, guys. Hope to see you there. I'll probably be running around, hopping on the train to Rafiki's Final Watch. That's a nice little area if you've never been there. It's quiet, it's relaxing, and you get to learn a lot out there. Animal Kingdom is just a superb park, and there's no other place quite like it. Except actually going to those places in the world.
Yeah, let's all jump on the safari train, if you will, and enjoy ourselves some Animal Kingdom during Earth Week. Well, Gared, we appreciate you joining us, buddy. Hey, if you are somebody that's interested in why Disney might be using facial recognition technology, leave it in our comment section down below. We'd love to hear if you have some comfort level problems with that. Obviously a little bit more in depth, assisting with not just the thumbprint matter of things that you usually give on the way into a theme park, but now facial recognition technology on top of that. Are you excited about Earth Week activities, or are you somebody that's really looking forward to the renewed guest experience? You think that all the guest experience measurements are correct with what Bob Chapek just told everybody? You think that's true? We'd love to hear your perspective. Leave it in the comment section down below, and we will certainly take a look ourselves. Hey, let's keep the fun rolling. It's time for the Disney List. The Disney List has arrived. This is where we share with you some of the best or worst of Walt Disney World. And today we are chatting with you about the best attractions at Disney's Hollywood Studios, a park that has a bit of an identity crisis, as we've talked about before, but we certainly want to heap the praise on the parts of the park that still work. Here with me today to talk about it, Katrina Manzone, Tyler Crouch, and in Disney's Hollywood Studios himself, Gared Hassel. We will begin with Katrina. When it comes to Hollywood Studios, shows, attractions, what tops your list?
Okay.
You
guys ready for this?
I'm prepared.
Are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Wait, hold on.
Sit down.
Seatbelt. All right. Okay, I'm ready.
Buckle up. Smuggler's Run. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dear. Whoa, Tyler.
JK, everybody.
Saw the rage.
Calm down. Gared, calm down over there. I know you're about to jump through the screen.
Somebody's taking an Uber home.
Oh.
No.
He said it.
I have to say, Slinky Dog. I love Slinky Dog
I
Dash.
love
I
your
think it's
Slinky
very cute. I'm not a big Tower of Terror person, so can't really do that one. I can't really say about that one. But I do love that ride. Slinky Dog Dash is always just like, it's very quick, but it's always just fun. I always have a smile going in, and I always have a smile getting off.
Very smooth.
Yeah, it's just, it just seems like, very, I don't know. I mean, it's just a very smooth ride. You get that takeoff and you kind of like go through, and then you wait in the anticipation of like backing up, and then you zoom past and you go up, and then you get to see like Galaxy's Edge, and then you zoom back down, then you go these like little like humps, and you're like, whoa, and it's just like, again, it's just like it happens all the time, but it always gets me like smiling. And then at the end you get to see oh my gosh, what's his name,
Wheezy.
Yeah, Wheezy at the end, singing the song and whatnot. So I think it's just like always just fun, and always puts a smile on my face.
I like the things he says when you take off too, like the wildest ride in Andy's backyard.
Yeah,
that
right.
too.
Yeah.
That's always fun. And like I'm still waiting to see, what is it, they really needed to add the pig, the evil.
Oh yeah, Ham.
Ham's
Ham's on the
Ham.
map, but then he's not on the ride.
Yeah.
He should be in it.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
but you always just have to like look, because it's always, I've actually never walked through like the normal queue, so I don't really know what it looks like. We always had to get a fast pass for it. Like that was the thing. Like to wait in line was like was too long. My second was really hard. I was just like, gosh, it's like really hard to figure out. But actually, I kind of really liked like the Indiana Jones attraction. I thought that was really fun to
Stunt
see.
Spectacular?
The Stunt Spectacular. I
Yeah.
thought it was
Wow,
fun to see.
that was out of left field for me. I had no idea you were
I
going to say
know.
that.
I thought it was really cute because it's like actually really fun, because you like sit there, and then I also, it's just kind of like the plane comes and they're doing like this stupid stunt on the plane, and you're like, oh God, anyway, but whatever.
It falls through the little trap door.
It's just so silly. It's just like, it's like a good place to like relax, I guess, was like my thing. Because sometimes at Hollywood Studios, it's a little hot. There's really not a lot of stuff to do there. And you're kind of like, back in the day, you're like, oh God, I really don't really, let's just go to another park. But you spend all like, you have like another fast pass for another like 2 hours. And you're like, what am I going to do? And so you go, you do the stunt spectacular. You sit there, you cool off because you're in the shade. You enjoy a little stunt show. And then you're done. And then you go to your fast pass.
They did make the right choice to build a giant metal roof over the whole arena. So that was
Grab some food, grab some drink,
smart.
just chill, relax.
Yeah.
And a show that has stood the test of time, been around a very long time out at Hollywood Studios, and is still something that, to this day, I know we all like to enjoy. It's a piece of heritage and nostalgia, even though it's not technically in operation at the moment. It's certainly something that we can't wait to see return. And we're going to jump out to Disney's Hollywood Studios now, where Gared Hassel, our Disney World reporter, is standing by with what tops his list when it comes to the best of. Let's try that again. When it comes to, yes, he shorted right out. Well, what we'll do is we'll start with Tyler, and jump over to Tyler first and fix that connection issue, and then jump back to Gared. So, Tyler, when it comes to what tops your list, what do you have to share with us?
Okay, so my first one, I feel like, is kind of like an obvious choice for a lot of people personally. I mean, and it's funny because in this area, it has one of in my opinion, the worst rides that they've come out with in a very long time. But I think that its bigger brother, the Rise of the Resistance, is probably one of the best attractions I've ever been on in my entire life. So it's hard for me to say that, it's not one of the two best ones in the whole park, because I just really think that that's the reason to go to that park right now. Like, for the most part, like, if you're gonna do one thing at that park, it should be Rise of the Resistance. Like,
and if you don't get a ticket, you go home and you cry.
I was just about to say, I'm not gonna go that far. I was just about to say, if you don't get a ticket to it, do your fast passes, and you haven't been before, do the things that you want to do Slinky Dog, do Toy Story, all those different things, and then don't wait around, because there's not much going on. I feel like, I guess, see the spotlights at night at this point. Maybe,
yeah, right.
Over the Hollywood
evening spotlights.
Yeah, over the movie theater. But anyway, so yeah, that's my first one, Star Wars. It's a great ride. It really just wraps you into this whole universe. It's done that better than any attraction I've ever been on before. And it's not even just exactly. And it's like a 20-minute experience, which I remember reading that in the beginning and being like, come on, what does that mean? And being like, okay, but also like, you know, Flight of Passage is like a 20-minute experience, right? And that pre-show is so boring, but no, they actually make this exciting. They make it cool. The technology is cool. The story is cool.
You don't even know if you're really waiting in line that long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The cast members do a great job over there.
Very immersive, over the top. One of the best attractions in terms of storytelling that they've ever done. So yeah, if you can get a boarding pass, if you can get in there, it is something absolutely worth planning your day around. And at Hollywood Studios, you kind of have to.
But if you don't get a pass, it's okay. It's not that great. You're not
go
gonna
ride
miss
Millennium
anything.
Falcon.
It's fine.
Yeah. I think it's one of the most innovative things they've done since like Indiana Jones Adventure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Completely agree.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Okay, so then my second one is another very new addition to the Hollywood Studios family.
Oh.
And it soon will be an addition to the Disneyland family as well. I'm going to be picking Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yes.
Wow, these two picks are like, I did not know that he was going to choose.
Really? I'm wondering what you thought I would choose.
Oh, well.
But yeah, I don't know. It's so delightful. It's so unique. I mean, yeah, it really
Delightful.
is.
That's a good word.
Yeah, it makes me feel so joyful. Like,
yeah.
And especially like the very last scene of the ride when they're kind of doing the little wrap up of the song that they've been singing, and it has
Nothing can stop us now.
Oh yeah, beautiful. I love it, and it's just I've loved, and I'm also in love with these cartoons, these shorts that they've been doing for like a few years now, and like the fact that they've still been doing them. I really thought they were going to do one season and that was it, and I was like, oh, I wish they'd do more of these. I'm so sad they probably never do more. And then it just kept coming and coming. So anyway, I love the series. I love the ride. I think it's really cute. Yeah, it's just a bunch of like projection mapping, which some people might be like, oh, it's just a bunch of screens. Like it's just,
But it's clever.
but it's clever
It is
because yeah, it's very clever the way they use things. Like
the second ending scene, like the scene before the very end, that's very clever. How
yeah,
they did it.
I don't want to spoil much, but just like it's one of those things where you can't. Looking at it on a video is like it doesn't really do it justice. When you see the final scene with your own eyes, you're kind of like, whoa, that was quick and impressive, and then Goofy's charming. I mean, I just love the whole thing. It's just great. I could go on that ride over and over
I
again.
will say, if you have not ridden this ride, or maybe you have ridden this ride, each car you'll see different things in the ride, which I think is great. But try to find Pluto in every single scene, because he's there.
I did not realize
in every
that.
single scene. So try to find him.
Oh.
So like that was like my determination, because there was a time where we rode it and we're in like car 2, and I would see him maybe in like 2 scenes, and I'm like, he has to be in every scene, right? And so then we rode it a couple more times, and then I was able to find him in every single scene. And poor Pluto, man.
Wow.
Kind of gets the
Poor
snot
little
beat
guy.
out of him.
But anyway, but like again, he always, it's just
Poor guy.
poor Pluto. But anyway, look for him. So
Yeah.
if you're traveling and you're gonna ride it a few times, and your kid starts getting bored or something of the ride, but you still want to ride it, have him look for Pluto, because
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's a new thing, everybody. Tell me. If you've seen them all, then tell me which one is the saddest scene. Because
Hunt for Pluto.
Yeah.
look for Pluto.
Oh, the last thing I'll say about it too. I know we should just move on, but the last thing I'll say about it, and I know you can't do it right now because of COVID, but the pre-show when the screen blows up, it's just it's so cool.
Beginning.
looking.
Huge missing effect
So
right now.
cool
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
But it'll come back.
No one appreciates when you're walking out of the ride, because you didn't really get to see
Well, you don't
what
understand it.
happened in the
Yeah,
front of
yeah,
the ride.
right.
It's just an explosion. Yeah. Well, very good. Now we jump out to our Walt Disney World reporter, Gared Hassel, standing by at Disney's Hollywood Studios. What tops your list, buddy?
All right, so one thing you should know for me is Hollywood Studios actually has some of the best attractions and experiences out of all of them. Even though it's a small park, they've got a lot of blockbusters.
What?
Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Indy. A lot of the attractions and experiences here are some of the best on Disney property. So it's very hard for me to choose. But the first one, got to go with Tyler. It is Rise of the Resistance. When I first went on this, I went on opening day and I was blown away. It was unlike any experience I've ever had before at Disney. It's not set up like a typical Disney ride, which is more so like a movie where it's continuous. This one is set up like a series of books where each part is a different part of the entire story, where just the cue, then the pre-show, then X, Y, and Z after that. I don't want to give too much away, but it is an immersive attraction where you feel like you're actually in the in the Star Wars films. and that you are a major character around, stars like Finn and Rey and Kylo and all that. So that is my first one. And every time I go on it, I'm always blown away by the visual effects. And I keep, like, after I go on a ride one time, I try and see how the magic is made for myself. Like, how do they do that? What are they doing here? And with this one, it's hard because they use so much new technology that you would need like an in-depth behind-the-scenes tour with an Imagineer. So
Sure.
Go on this ride. There is no Pluto hiding in,
Are you sure?
Rise of the Resistance.
I think I've seen him there.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Dang. There's other planets though.
Mickey, yeah. If you look
That
at
was a
a
space
certain angle,
joke.
you see a Mickey Mouse shaped planet, but no. But just so you know, there is no Lone Star, and there's no Spaceball jokes in there. It's Star Wars, not Spaceballs. But my second second experience, it's hard, but I've got to go with the Indiana Jones Spectacular.
You too, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, even though
Not the Beauty and the Beast, like I thought you were gonna say.
No, believe me, it is hard for me to lock this down. I am torn because
Gaston is so ashamed of you.
Yeah, who's
over
hunkier?
here.
Gaston or
hunkier?
Indiana Jones?
Well, Indiana Jones drank from the
goblet?
chalice that
the
Jesus
chalice.
drank out of, the Holy Grail.
So that just makes him the
and all that.
hunkiest.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, man, he lived to be over 100 if you watch the young Indiana Jones series and all that. But
Is that true? Wow.
you can fit thousands of people into that show. They pull people out of the audience to be a part of it. I've gotten to do that, and it is so cool. They have you act things out, and
If
the Indiana
Gaston
Jones
pulled
show
you
is
out, would you feel different?
You're making me hurt. Inside my heart is breaking because it hurts for me to go against it. But the Indiana Jones one just has so much more in it, and I simply adore it. Also, fun fact, the big buff guy at the very end, the bad guy, one of them actually went to my gym, and you see this guy, and he's just like, he is massive. He's like 6'4". His biceps as big as my head, and you're just like, he has his own gravitational pull. That sounds weird, but
He's like a Gaston, I guess.
Honestly, really, he is.
Real
But
life Gaston.
that stunt show is amazing, and it's got little jokes from the films in there, and it's got all the the boulder chase. That is such an iconic scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're like, man, I would love to see that in real life, and you see how it's in, and they break down the scene. So yeah, I'm sorry, Gaston. I'm sorry, Beauty and the Beast, but I'm gonna go just jump in the lake near Dinosaur Gertie and just cry my tears out because it hurts. But
Yeah.
Rise of Resistance is the new age Indiana Jones adventures like you have out of Disneyland. It really makes you feel like you're in that world. And Indiana Jones, the Stunt Spectacular here, is one of the best live action shows that you can experience out here at Walt Disney World. It's far times better than Fantastic, in my opinion. And there's always a fireworks spectacular at the end of Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. So that's all there is. But yeah, my heart is torn because I love you, Gaston. But Indy, he was my dude, my best friend before you were, Gaston. I'm very sorry. Please forgive me.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
I don't think it'll happen. No, sir.
I don't think Gertie will forgive you either.
No.
No.
That dino will stomp all over you.
How sad.
Maybe she will. She's Indiana's neighbor, so
She's a sweet gal. She really is. Has snow on her year round. I don't know how she does it. She is a majestic beast.
That's how she's been so cool for so long.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's how she does it. I mean, she's got the ice cream shop in her, right? So that probably cools her down. So
yeah, when you're inside is soft serve.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
that'll do it.
Great.
That's how it's done. I would say for me, Hollywood Tower Hotel, right? Tower of Terror, absolutely a spectacular attraction, the best storytelling, and certainly something that when it left the Disneyland Resort and California Adventure and became Guardians themed. Now I only have Hollywood Studios in terms of the United States to go visit something like that. Absolutely love the way in which the elevator leaves the shaft and goes on its own little journey. In this attraction, it's something truly unique that I remember the first time it happened, because I'd only been on the California Adventure version. It doesn't do that at California Adventure, or I should say didn't. So it startled me, and was an amazing experience altogether. Absolutely loved it. I would say the other attraction that I love, and it's attractions and shows, folks, obviously with Indy, and I would say Walt Disney Presents One Man's Dream is what I cherish
Great
at
choice.
Hollywood
Gotta choose
Studios.
the sentimental one.
What can I say? And the video is crap that they play, the film itself. I mean, it's like it
Do
was
they even play it anymore?
They do. Yeah, it was
Oh.
like it was recorded, 50 years ago, and yet it has narration from Julie Andrews from 15 years ago. It's just the clips together and everything. It's a poorly projected video at this point, but the message is so strong, and it's a little museum basically dedicated to Walt Disney himself and the creation of Disneyland and his animation and Disney World. So my two top favorites when it comes to Hollywood Studios. We want to hear what yours happens to be. Leave it in the comment section down below. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you appreciate our discussions. We always look forward to hearing what's on your mind when it comes to lists just like this. Kingdom Report Live wraps up next.
Hey Kingdom team, do you need more magic in your life? We understand, which is why we connect you to more of what makes you happy 3 times a week. Catch our theme park coverage, vlogs, and reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And experience the Kingdom Report Live, streaming every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, crafted with you in mind. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe and activate notifications at The Kingdom Report on YouTube, and catch every update throughout the week at Kingdom Report Live on social media. See you there!
As always, I can't believe it, but that's the end of our broadcast. We have had so much fun. We've been able to cover so many topics today, and still we had lots to talk about that we didn't get to, but don't you worry. We will be back here next week for another edition. Hey, before we get out of here, quick reminder, if you're somebody that wants yourself a Kingdom Report mug, all you got to do, leave the phrase that pays in the comment section down below. This week it's Peter Pan Splite in the comment section underneath the YouTube video. Got to wait until the live show posts in order to do it, and you have to do so between now and 8 a.m. Pacific time on Monday. That's 2 days from Saturday if you don't know how a calendar week works, and you just leave that phrase that pays. That makes you entered for a mug, and we will reach out to you if you are randomly selected to win. Again, congratulations to Eric Bergeron of York, Maine for winning last week's mug giveaway. As always, it means so much that you could be a part of our broadcast, so much that you could drop by on your weekend to spend some time with us. You can look forward to seeing a little bit more in terms of Disney Parks news and discussion next week, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for an all-new Kingdom Report Live. And remember, the legacy of Walt Disney, what lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next week.